good morning to everyone. And now we are going to start. Thank you so much for taking out time on a Sunday morning to attend this session. And I'm sure that you are going to have a lot of takeaways. But yes, I'm not very ambitious. Even if you have one takeaway from today's session, I will be more than happy. So I'm here with my colleague from the outreach team. I'm Meenu Arora from outreach team, Krea University. And I'm here with Arshad, who is also a part of outreach team and who has coordinated this entire session with IMS. We also have here two of our students who are already studying at Krea, Avinash Raju, if you can just wave your hand, and also Charmika. Both of them are going to share their journey of liberal arts, because today we are going to discuss about demystifying liberal arts, and which is a very, very popular topic, I should say, nowadays, and still unexplored. So today we are just going to understand that where is it going to take us, how is it going to help us, for the future careers. So, when I was thinking, whenever people talk about liberal arts, what makes me think is that basically, why are we discussing liberal arts now? Why are we taking it as it is something which is very new, in the education system? But if you reflect back, because whenever we understand any concept, it's very important to, relate it to the past and the future, because only then this present is going to connect the past with the future, right? And if you look back, people say that liberal arts, it started from Egypt, Greek. Some people say, no, US universities are liberal arts universities, and from there, India has picked up liberal arts university, but it's not so. Because if you look back, it takes me to the Vedic age, when the main education system was based on, Gurukul system. All of you must have read about the Gurukul system during the Vedic age, where there used to be a guru and there used to be shishya. So whether you are a king of the son of a king, or you are a son of a very normal man or a farmer's son, you are still studying with the same guru. So, that used to be a pride that, I have taken my education from this particular guru. That was the institution itself, right? And if you look at that, the main focus at that particular time was taking care of your holistic development, moral, physical, spiritual, intellectual. So when Shishyas were staying in that Gurukul, every kind of education was given, whether it was related to how to participate in a war, or how to talk to people, how to talk to your peer group, how to talk to your other, kings in the other states, how to take care of the economy, the moral development, the ethics, the spirituality, meditation, yoga, everything was taken care of. So, when we say holistic development, that was already the focus, in the past. It was only as we moved on, as the Mughal people came, and then the British rule was there, and slowly and gradually from that holistic education, we started focusing more on the discipline-oriented education, where the focus was only on the education, the discipline, the subject which you are studying. Even a few years back, I can say 25 years back, when we were doing our education, people used to say, if you're doing an honors course in history or something, then you're an intelligent kid. If you're doing BA pass course where you are studying 3-4 subjects, then your scores must be low. And actually the cutoff used to be low, right? So it's important to study, to understand this kind of evolution. And now we are going back to that system, which is focusing more on the holistic. And if you look at even those kind of period, they used to have debates. They used to have different people with different talents. When we talk about Navratnas in the kingdom of that particular dynasty, people used to give a lot of emphasis, importance, and they used to acknowledge the special talent which was there in those people. And if we look around, I see that people have a lot of misconceptions about liberal arts. That what is liberal arts all about? Some people say, oh, it is for those people who don't know what are they supposed to do. They're confused, they're undecided. So they should take liberal arts because that gives them an opportunity to decide about their major later. Some people say that liberal art is only for arts and humanities students. It is not for the science students. So it's not that, first of all, liberal arts is actually, in itself means liberal arts and sciences, right? And some people say that, oh, it is meant for those people who don't want to study, because liberal art means liberal. So you're free to do whatever you want. So it's very easy and it has no future. It is meant for those students who are the low scorers, because maybe people are not able to connect the liberal arts with the future world of work. And that's what we are going to establish today. And before I move on in explaining what liberal art education is all about, I would like to ask Avinash and Charmika, would you like to share, did you ever face any kind of issue when you were choosing liberal arts? Did you came across, any such kind of misconceptions, from people? Charmika, to start with you.
Right. So I think one of the misconceptions was that liberal arts is generally synonymous to arts just because it has the word in it. And I think that is something. So I studied MPC, Math, Physics, and Chemistry, and I went to my school back 2 months later after I joined Krea, and they're like, "Where did you join?" I said I joined this liberal arts college called Krea, and they're like, "Why did you join arts when you did like a science background in your 11th and 12th grade?" So that was something. And second was also about careers, right? What do you gain out of liberal arts? I think there's no enough awareness, and I think all of us have faced it. So definitely. Avinash, what about you?
So when I was, right until it was the time for me to choose a college, I had expected liberal arts to be very boring and dry, all subjects like sociology, history, the kind of subjects which would make you fall asleep in class. That was the misconception I had. Um, I never knew that liberal arts was about how you would solve problems or come across, those kind of just go around solving such issues and would be at a practical level. I thought it was all theory and abstract related matters, but it was when I was choosing colleges and when I was choosing Krea that I did a bit more research into liberal arts and understood what it really was. So even a lot of my relatives had also asked me, why are you going into liberal arts despite having a pretty good decent score? So that was when I had to sit them down and explain that this is what liberal arts actually is, and it did take me a bit of convincing, but the misconception that they have is very deep rooted. So even I myself, despite being a liberal arts student, had a deep rooted misconception. So you really can't blame the others.
Thank you so much, and that's so interesting to find out that although you have already taken, but you also went through the same kind of misconceptions. People try to shape you up. That's very much true. So let's try to see what is liberal arts, and I'm sure that both of you now are very much clear what liberal arts is all about, and that's why you are here in the panel. So students who are listening to Charmika and Avinash, just to make you understand that liberal arts, first of all, it is an approach. It is an approach to education, right? And when the things are changing so exponentially around us, it's important for us to adapt and to adopt the new technology, the new approach to education. So liberal arts is basically a multidisciplinary approach. When I say multidisciplinary, it includes the natural sciences, social sciences, humanities, as well as maths. So when we say natural sciences, of course, it has biology, chemistry, physics, botany. Social sciences is history, psychology, law, sociology, all these subjects, as you can see on the screen. And humanities is art, literature, linguistic, philosophy, all these subjects. And also maths, because many times people think that, oh, it is liberal arts, so maths is not included. So maths might not be the eligibility criteria to pursue liberal arts, but you can always do maths and science, or science and say physics and history, while following a liberal arts curriculum. And why should we study liberal arts? So liberal arts is basically, as we were discussing, the way holistic development was the objective of the Vedic age education. Similarly, this liberal arts, the main objective is the holistic development, to develop the well-rounded individuals. where you have maybe, you have broad-based knowledge about various subjects, but you also have the transferable skills. And what are these skills? We will be discussing about that. Because, when you go for a career or a job, it is not only the degree which only helps you, it is the skill set. The skill set is very, very important. So when you study according to the liberal art approach, you get in-depth knowledge about a particular discipline, some knowledge about a series, 2-3 subjects, and have to connect various dots. You learn how to connect various dots, because we will be discussing it further in other slides, that how it is important to look at every problem from various angles. And liberal arts equips you with that kind of critical thinking and analytical skills, that how to analyze a particular problem. And plus, when we say that we are moving to a new world of work, I avoid using the word uncertain, because uncertainty induces some kind of anxiety. So when we are moving to a new world, when we say that the future is all about changing careers, I'm not saying changing jobs. There is a difference between a job and a career, right? Changing jobs is normal in today's scenario also, but future is all about changing careers. That means each one of you might be changing 5 to 6 careers. So suppose if I have studied psychology, like I'm a counseling psychologist. So if I say, oh, I can work only as a psychologist, then I might not be so successful. But if I say, oh, as a psychologist, I can work in university, I can work in a school sector, I can work in a hospital, I can work with senior citizen, I can work with primary school kids. So then I need these transferable skills. So if I have this broad-based knowledge and transferable skills, then I will be able to work with any kind of situation, and I will be successful in doing that. And before we move further, it's important to understand that how liberal arts is different from the conventional education system, or what is this multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approach? These are all different kinds of approaches to learning, right? So one is the multidisciplinary approach. In multidisciplinary approach, we say that, okay, it gives you an opportunity to study subjects from different disciplines together. For example, it gives you an opportunity to study the multidisciplinary approach. It gives you an opportunity to study, say, history and biology. Okay. So now you are studying 2 separate subjects as a student, but as parallel subjects. Okay. Interdisciplinary approach, when you're studying history and biology, will be that how 2 are connected to each other, right? Where we can use biology to understand history and vice versa. Now, when I say interwoven learning approach, that basically means that you're studying history from the lens of biology, and you're studying biology from the lens of history, right? And you're seeing that how they are weaved into each other. And that's as simple as, say, let's take example of COVID-19, right? So when the vaccination, the researches were going on, how to overcome this particular disease, people studied biological sciences from historical perspective, meaning thereby they looked at the history. When in the past a similar thing occurred, when was the last pandemic? 100 years back. Okay, what happened? How did they deal with it? So from history, they learned lessons. Okay, social distancing became the answer before they came up with the scientific discovery or a kind of vaccination. The immediate solution was social distancing, right? So, this is how interwoven learning approach works, that you actually see how these are weaved into each other. Also, liberal arts basically also promotes what to learn to how to learn. So all of you are in school right now. So what happens? You get a textbook, you have a curriculum, and suppose if you are studying about the space, or you're studying about a particular law, say Newton's law. So you are supposed to write the definition which is given in your textbook. You are supposed to solve a mathematical problem the way the teacher has taught you. So you study that, and then you appear for the exam. Suppose if extra question comes in the exam, then there is a lot of, hue and cry saying that, oh, this question was out of syllabus, right? Because we are so used to that this is the syllabus and this is the test, right? The liberal arts approach equips you how to learn. So once you know how to learn, it doesn't matter where the question comes from. The topic is there. So we are studying, for example, metals and non-metals, for example, in chemistry. And then now we will study, if I know this, then I can answer any question. So as an individual, I learn how to learn, because that makes you lifelong learner, because future is all about lifelong learning, right? And also liberal art equips you with various kinds of skills. And what are these skills? When we talk about the future, the soft skills are also equally important. So whether it is communication skills or critical thinking and analytical skills, we will be talking more in detail. Liberal arts equips you with all that. Okay. And as we just discussed that how it is important to understand the lessons from the past. So let's try to see that why we are talking so much about education 5.0, or we should have a different approach. Because if we look at the past, in the past also certain industrial revolutions have taken place where people reskilled, upskilled themselves, and they sailed through. They were able to, survive in those industries by upskilling themselves. So if we look at the fourth industrial age, which is the 21st century, where we are talking about AI, big data, robotics, all these have given rise to new careers. And certain careers are, of course, they disappear. When computers came, the typists lost their jobs, right? And now when we have Google Calendar and the planner and everything, there's no scope of personal secretary also, because I can manage my calendar, right? So I don't need anybody else. So this happens, but then the new careers emerge. And how these new careers emerge? We see that. And when today we are talking about AI and technology and machine learning, deep learning, and we say, oh, AI is seeping into every career. At the same time, we should not forget the work which can be done by machines will be done by machines, will be done by AI, no doubt about it. But at the same time, the work which can be done by us human beings will be done by us only, right? So what are these? Maybe soft skills, higher cognitive thinking skills, innovation. So Industry 5.0 is all about humanizing technology. And to humanize technology, you have to be innovative in your approach, right? And even if you look at, big industries, like the other day I was watching a documentary and they were showing that how Facebook, Google, they have a separate department which they call as Humane Center of Technology, So, that means technology in itself cannot survive. Technology is going to survive with human beings. So we need to understand that what is the role of human beings in this, in this technological driven world. And if we look at the future, that how this future is changing, why do I need liberal arts? So I need to understand what changes are going to occur. And if you look at this report, which was given by World Economic Forum in 2015, if you, I'm not going to read all these changes, just read it through, and you will see that all these changes, whether it is driverless cars or having an AI machine in the corporate board of directors, I can see that all this is happening right now. I don't need to wait for 2025 to occur. In fact, I saw all these changes, including 3D printing, in 2 years back, 3 years back. So that means changes are occurring so fast, so exponentially. But the only thing which is not being changed and where changes are not occurring is the education. Thank God that we have come up with national education policy, and I hope that we will apply it as soon as possible. We, as individuals, I personally feel we cannot wait for that to be implemented. If we have the opportunity to learn at the higher ed, schools, definitely it will be implemented by next year. But we are preparing ourselves for the future. So we cannot enter 21st century, or in fact, I should say third decade of 21st century with the curriculum of 19th century. We have to reimagine that education also for future. And that made me think that let's see, how should we carve this career path? And here I would like to just discuss with you that let's look at some famous people, successful people, that what did they do? How did they think about future that they are so successful in their career? So some students are Googling, I think.
Students,
You
come
can,
on.
you can Google. That's okay. But give me the answer.
Okay, somebody, Radha Surekar says she's YouTube CEO.
Yes. Yes. So she is Susan Diane Wojcicki from, and she's actually heading the tech world for the past 20 years. Any guesses what has she done? And what about the others? Why are others not responding? I think only one person has responded. So do you know what are the educational qualifications? What she must have done to be CEO of YouTube? YouTube is so popular nowadays. Any guess? You can be wrong. That's fine. I'm not going to mark you on this. Any
So
responses?
Radha says she has done liberal arts. Must have created the app. Tamanna says she must have created the app.
Okay. So let's see. So basically, sorry, it is overlapping. So basically, she did her bachelor's degree in history and literature, and then she did her MSc in economics. So she never developed an app, and she did not do exactly liberal arts, but yes, history and literature is a kind of combination. Who is this person? And I'm sure everyone knows this.
This one is easy.
Yeah. Students, fast. I have so much to share. Then I need to skip certain slides.
Can we have the answer? Anybody?
Avinash, Charmika, okay, you can also answer. If you have not seen this slide earlier, because you are a part of so many presentations.
Jack Ma, Ananya has answered it.
Okay, yes.
Good job, Ananya.
Jack Ma, and co-founder of Alibaba Group. Any guesses about his qualification? Let's see, how did they decide?
Any guesses, students? Anyone who can actually guess what he must have actually studied? No one? No wild guesses?
So scared of answering, you can be wrong. Never be scared. You're open. Like
Tamanna says business studies.
Because he started the e-commerce, huh? So, but he has done BA English. And,
Wow.
and he failed thrice his entrance exam to Chinese university. He was very bad with maths, but he started e-commerce, although he has done BA English. Quick. The next one.
Quick guesses. Students, come on, be quick.
Because I don't want to miss out on any slide. Okay, then I will say. Avinash and Charmika, you're not making guesses. Okay, I'm good. No, I know that you also don't know. No, I will ask other students also. So Brian Chesky, who was the co-founder of Airbnb, and his education qualification is that he is the industrial design. Okay, this is the fourth one. Now I will not ask you if you know, then quickly write. Otherwise, I will say, because I don't want to waste time here. He is Pratap Chandra Reddy, who started the entire chain of Apollo hospitals. Any guesses? Who is he? 5 seconds. Okay. He's a cardiologist, right? But he started the chain of Apollo hospitals. He did not have any MBA degree. And this all of you must know because you enjoy having coffee at Starbucks. Okay, so he is Howard Schultz, who's the co-founder of former CEO of Starbucks. And he did not know how to make coffee because he has done bachelor's degree in communication, right? So now if we look at these successful people, and of course, these are only 5, there is a long list. So if I look at their career path, they did something in one discipline, but if you look at their ultimate career success, it is in a totally different domain. And I'm not talking about future. This has already happened. When I'm saying that you will be changing your careers, now this has already happened with these people, right? So then how do I choose the subject? So now look at the future, that how the future world of work is changing. The job profiles are going to change. The new careers are going to emerge. 25 years back, there was no content writer. I never heard of any architect 25 years back working with a gaming company. The games which you play, the video games, There are actually architects there who design that virtual building, that how gaming is going to be done, where you keep shooting people, right? So the trend is changing so much. So as we were saying that now for future, the demand for the higher cognitive skills will be very, very high, because the creativity, critical thinking, because machines cannot do this. Machine learning works on the system of algorithms, right? So, whatever we feed in, then they do their permutation combination. There will be a growth in social and the emotional skills. And we have already seen during this pandemic that people felt so lonely, depressed, and they really wanted to have these skills. The need for affiliation is the basic human need. So that is going to be there. And that will be needed in leadership and the management. Leadership is not about the designation, right? Now, and also the future is also about the blurring boundaries between digital, biological, and physical world. Gone are the days when we used to say, oh, I'm a commerce student, so I can work in banking. I'm a science student, so I can be doctor or engineer. Or I can, if I'm a humanities student, I can be a journalist. So these are the common careers which used to come to your mind, as soon as you hear about these streams. But now the world has changed, and tomorrow is totally changed. You think about a surgeon, you can see there are no boundaries between these three. A surgeon, when he's operating, he's using various kind of technology. Like, for example, there is one particular surgery which is done, which is known as laparoscopy, where they make 3 holes in the body, and they insert a nano camera inside the body, and they suck the gallbladder, because if you have gallstones, then that is the only way out, right? Now here, what is happening? They don't look inside the body, the surgeons. They look at the screen, because the camera is showing them, and with the help of that, they do their surgery, right? So it's not that if you are a nanotechnologist, you are not related to medicine. Somebody had designed that, and some surgeon who is from the biological field is using that, right? And also the entire definition of careers is changing. It's not that if you have done computer science, you can work with the tech companies. As we have seen these examples, Susan, Jack Ma, they have done their education in one field and working in the other field. So now if you look at these tech jobs, finance jobs, green jobs, and health jobs, if you broadly classify them in these 4 categories, you will see that, suppose if you're a computer scientist. Now, as a computer scientist, you can do a tech job in a tech company, but you can also work with a finance company. Like I know a computer scientist, who is working with the stock exchange in Mumbai and working very well, because computer scientist, he had this thing, but he also had a very lot of interest in stock exchange. So he developed a software for this stock exchange market. And while working there, he got an offer from UK, that you don't leave your job, but you do our thing also, our job also, and we will give you the salary. So if you're able to do those permutation combination, you can really survive. You have to be innovative with your career. As a computer scientist, I can work with sustainability also. I can work with as an energy analyst also, because for that also I need computer science. Health jobs, I just gave you an example that how computers are being used. So future is all about looking at a problem from multiple perspectives. It is not like when we were discussing COVID-19, if people were only relying on the biological researchers, then we would have just waited for the vaccination. Then social distancing had not happened, lockdowns had not happened, right? So every situation needs to be looked at from different angle, because it is a kind of butterfly effect. So every change, every challenge in one industry induces challenge in the other industries, right? For example, COVID-19 not only affected the health, the public health policies changed, the way people are communicating changed, the relationships changed, the economy of the entire country, not only that particular region, changed, because people lost their businesses. Some came up with new businesses. The mental health of people got affected. the kind of medicine, people said that, oh, during lockdown, all the critical cases also low down. Like there was actually no case in the emergency except the COVID, like the heart attacks and everything went down. So, now if we try to look at the COVID-19 only from the biological perspective, then we will not be able to come up with a solution. Now, even if I'm working as an economist, I will just give one example here. Suppose if somebody tells me, oh, you're working in this organization, now you build up a strategy, how are we going to survive for the next 5 years? Now, as an economist, what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to look at what are the public policies, what kind of government policies are there related to their organization, if it is a law company or some kind of industry, what kind of policies are there, how COVID is going to affect these policies, whether people will be able to come back to work, or I still need to go for the online work, then I need to change my HR policy, so many things. I also need to see how this industry is affecting the environment, because I also need to have a sustainability model, right? I need to see what kind of ethics people are following, what has happened in the past, which has affected today's business. So like somebody was sharing, oh ma'am, when demonetization happened, I had a lot of losses in my business, and now this lockdown, it has multiplied. So whatever has happened in the past affects any kind of company, right? So as an economist, I will be able to strategize for my own company based on how all these areas are working, how all these areas are affecting my organization. So now what a liberal art does, so if I've studied only economics as economic subject, maybe I will take years to understand that how everything is connected. But if I have studied liberal arts, then I know how to connect various dots. Then I know how economics is related to psychology, leading to behavioral economics, how economics is related to public health policy or environmental science. So it equips me. It equips me with those skills, which helps me in looking at a problem. Similarly, as a psychologist, now I will not go into details of this. So if I summarize that what is going to happen in future, we will be needing multidisciplinary knowledge. As I just gave you some examples, we will be needing other skills apart from the AI skills or technological skills, and those skills, to summarize, are 4 C's. That is critical thinking, creativity, communication skills, and collaborative skills, right? And not only collaborating with human beings, but as human being, how can you collaborate with machines? That is also very, very important. And how can you maintain a balance? Okay, so a lot is, and it's not that nothing is happening just theoretically. We keep inviting these industry leaders to our university to talk to our students, and they have shared these, that industries are looking for people who also know the ethics. They can connect philosophy with economics, like Sanchit, the chief executive of Krea Research, he said that we need people who have diverse skill set. We need people who are innovative. So why are you studying in a higher ed? See, when you complete a school, you go to a college. Then the university prepares you for that industry. So you need to know what these industries are looking for. These industries are saying that we need people who are not only good in their discipline, but who have multidisciplinary skills. Whether you are doing studies in artificial intelligence, or you are doing a research work, everything is interconnected. And you will see that if you're innovative in combining subjects, because liberal arts gives you that kind of opportunity, you have to combine various subjects. Like for example, have to combine psychology and sociology, leading to social psychology. You have to combine history and economics, which is a very good combination for being a business leader. So various subjects have to be combined to pursue a career, because new careers are going to emerge, right? I will not go into details of it. Maybe we can discuss if a question comes. And so because I want to listen to Avinash and Charmika also. So, various, now if you look at a conventional kind of university or a central university, they give you an opportunity to study one subject. For example, chemistry, then you're doing all science related subjects, or you're studying only chemistry. I did psychology honors when I was doing my undergrad program, and I studied only psychology. To such an extent, when I was told, in my first job, I was told to develop a career counseling program, online career counseling program for students. And I remember it was it's 96. And I say, no, I can't develop because I'm a psychologist. I'm not a computer scientist, so I'm not going to do it. So, but my boss said, no, Meenu, you need to do it. And I was like, my God, my first job, I can't afford to lose it. So I rushed to the computer department and I said, listen, this is your job. You have done computer science, so you better develop an online program. I'm going to do my, counseling. So they said, don't worry. So let's do one thing, because they were unaware that how to develop. They said, but we don't know. We can make the algorithm, but we don't know how to make that. So what we did, we sat together and I kept telling them, I sat in front of the screen. I behaved like a student. This is a real example of 96, I'm telling you. I just started saying that as a student, I would like to see this. And they were making their notes. They made a lot of flow charts, pages and pages. They said, okay, we will meet you after 15 days. After 15 days, they came up with the entire career counseling program, which was online. And we implemented that. And that time, it was the Wi-Fi was only through dialing. The internet was the dialing phone. And they developed it. I was so surprised. That was my first lesson. Oh my God, that psychology and computer science are so closely related, right? So there are certain things which we learned on the job, but you people are lucky, you are getting universities who are going to train you like that. And Krea is one of them, because all these leaders from diverse backgrounds, as you can see, whether it is Kapil or Seshay or Mr. Vagul from ICI, Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, all these people, they realized that when they go out to interview people for their companies, they feel that there is something lacking. Only degree, they were not satisfied, because if he is a computer scientist, then he should know how to work, how to develop programs, or just being a gold medalist or being a good scorer will not help unless and until they can apply that skill in the real life situation. If I give theories of, this is the way to swim, doesn't help if I don't know how to swim when I'm thrown into the swimming pool, right? So they realize this gap. And this is how they conceptualize this Krea University, that in Krea University, we are the pioneers in Interwoven learning model. And we take care of all those things which I just discussed, that where is the gap? So they try to fill up that gap. Their curriculum is based on Interwoven learning approach, which gives you an opportunity to study various subjects under one umbrella. And not only study various subjects, but also study how these subjects are weaved into each other, how Western concepts are weaved into the Eastern concepts, how theory is weaved into the practical, how past is weaved into the future through present, right? So that will equip you with such transferable skills also. So your knowledge ecosystem has two schools, I can say that one is CIAS, which is School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences, and the other is IFMR, which is a graduate school of business, which gives MBA degree. CIAS gives the undergrad degree. And we have various research centers, mainly 4 research centers, which is LEAD, JPAL, CDFI. And we also opened up a new research center 2-3 months back, which is mainly for humanities and social studies. And, people think that research center, science research center. But yes, we do have research centers for interdisciplinary sciences and for humanities and social sciences also. So these are the various research centers. And if you have heard about Abhijit Banerjee, who won the Nobel Prize for economics, a lot of his research was mainly, done at JPAL. So here I would just like to give you a glimpse of Krea, and then I will invite Avinash and Charmika. I will do less of speaking because they are studying in university, so they can share their first-hand experience. So at Krea, we give 3 years BA honors or BSc honors degree, and we have 4th year also. So if you want to pursue, say, post-grad program in the foreign universities where they ask for the 4th year also. So then you can do that at Krea. As I said, at Krea, we follow the interwoven learning model. And as we discussed, to be successful professional for future, you need to have broad-based knowledge with transferable skills. Keeping that in mind, our interwoven learning approach has all these 8 elements. Of course, the interdisciplinary approach is the DNA of the interwoven learning approach. So it's very common at Krea that one day your maths professor is not teaching you maths, but teaching you ethics. And let Avinash and Charmika talk about it. All our courses are very research-based. They all need a lot of writing. So in fact, I will not go into detail. So Avinash and Charmika, if you can share, what is your experience so far? I know that it's you are not very old students, but what is your experience so far at Krea, and how certain misconceptions were removed while studying, and any takeaways in this, any learnings which has taken place in the past 1 year? Yes, Avinash, to start with you.
Okay. So, as a first year student, I am currently finishing up with my second trimester. For me, I really had thought that in college, my learning would only be restricted to the stream I take. Whereas over here in Korea, the first year is basically the time when we're all allowed to explore other fields that we would like to, and later on, we have to streamline it and choose the major minor program that we would like. So for me, this is when I understood, about what it really means to be an all-rounded individual and be exposed to a lot of other things which later on people don't have the skills for. Because now when you think about it, like especially when I look at my cousins who are engineers or doctors, one of the major things that people, when they come for their campus placements, ask them is, what are the other soft skills you have, or other kinds of skills which are very necessary that are being imbibed in us right now in the first year itself. So, it's the complete package. We genuinely don't have to worry. We just come to here, we just sit in class, and there we go. So, for me, initially, what I used to think was that if I want to do a certain job or I want to learn a certain thing, I only need to learn that. But now I've understood the true value of it, especially when certain professors who teach different subjects come and teach us another totally different subject, which is way different compared to their qualification. They might be having a PhD in physics, but they would come and teach us something totally different. So that's when I really understood the value of it, because they're really held in very high stead by all of us. And at the same time, what they teach us is extremely valuable. So this is my major takeaway, that it's not the subject that you're learning, but rather what you're exposed to, which shapes you up as a person professionally and otherwise as well. Chamika, what about you?
I agree to whatever Avinash said, because honestly, I came in with an expectation to pursue a computer science major. I'm in my second year right now, but I did maths, chemistry, and I planned to do a computer science major and do a maths minor or something in those lines. But I never, even in my dreams, expected I'd do an economics major with like business studies concentration. Like these are completely different things. So one word that I totally associate with Krea is exploration. I think first year it was a bang on. Like honestly, I could explore different subjects and understand what I really like. And in the process, I understood what kind of subjects I like. For example, I understood that I like writing compared to quantitative theory that's there in math. And I also liked analysis as well. So I would like to mix and match such courses in my second year. So definitely, I think it's a lot more clearer. I'm able to pursue my internships in the related fields and see where it's all from. So even the faculty, I think it's very easy to approach them and try to understand where they are coming from. We have someone who's teaching literature, teaches ethics, and that's extremely something that you not expect in a conventional college. So I think it's all a new experience, and it's worth giving it a shot, I'd say.
Thank you, Charmika and Avinash. And thanks, Avinash, for bringing up one thing when you said it's a complete package. and that is so true, because as I said, people say that if you're not able to communicates, for example, data, as a data scientist, if you're not able to interpret data and if you're not able to communicate the findings of this data to your company, you're gone. So, you need to have a complete package. You're very right in saying so, because you need those communication skills as well. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'll just move on to the next. Yeah, to impart such kind of knowledge, we need professors like that, like Avinash as shared that, physics professor and teaching something totally different. And that is that can be done only if professors come with that kind of background. And at Krea, professors come with diverse backgrounds. And that is the reason I think students are also able to innovate, with their projects. I remember one student sharing that they got a project on mathematical reasoning, and they in that group, 3 girls were trained classical dancers, and they presented the entire project on mathematical reasoning through classical dance. And I'm still figuring out how is it possible to project, to show maths through dance, but yes, students do it. So these are, and I will encourage all of you to go to the Krea website and look at these professors, that what kind of background they have. So you are going to study, with these professors. Quickly telling you at Krea, because we believe in interwoven learning approach, so immersive learning experience is also a very, very important part of it. So I will just give you in one glance what is the academic structure. So as it is a 3-year course, in the first year course, you join Krea without declaring your major minors. So you in the entire batch joins one cohort, one class, which studies skill courses and core courses. When I say one class, that is the entire batch. Of course, you're divided into different sections because our class sizes don't go beyond 25 max. I think 30 will be max. 30 I've not heard of, but not beyond 30. So in the first year, you study about these skill courses and core courses. And after the first year, you are given an opportunity to work, maybe to work for a research project, or maybe a social impact internship. You can pick up any internship, and they try to curate internships according to students. And also in the beginning of the second year, then you start declaring your major minor combinations. And for that, professors are there to help you. The career service office is there to help you. And after studying skill courses and core courses, that 1 year also gives you an opportunity to explore more about your passion, your interest areas, and your abilities. Many times, students enter with one particular thing in mind, and they end up, taking some other subject as their major. So, that is a very common process, because it is not an overnight thing, it is a process. In the second year, you study your major minor subjects, and after the second year, between second and third year, you have the opportunity to do industry internship. And then in the third year, there is a capstone thesis where you actually work in the industry on real problems under the mentorship of professors. So, and then if you want to pursue the fourth year, then you can apply for the fourth year. So as far as first year is concerned, whatever skills we have talked so far, the ability to connect dots, the ability to innovate with ideas, all those are very, very crucial part of the first year. And here, again, Avinash and Charmika, I would like to request you that how is your experience with this first year? And if you would like to share some particular experience of any particular course which really helped you in understanding yourself or which changed your perspective, we are more than happy to listen to you. So Charmika, over to you.
Yeah. So I think first year was my favorite year till now, because my second year is not done yet fully. But I think first year, like I mentioned, lets you explore a lot of things out there. For example, we had this project in mathematical reasoning course as to how is calculus attached to music and the strings in your guitar or whatever. So I think it's such an interconnected world that it's important to study each of these. No subject really exists in isolation in like real life. So why study it in isolation in college, right? So just take all your courses, like whatever you want to pursue. I think it's the best that you can try to explore here and see where your interest really lies. I think with multiple courses here, I've learned like a bunch of things. For example, I believe writing and oral communication is such an important course because, let's say, in today's corporate world, writing is very important, right from writing an email, So I think it all boils down to how much you take from the learning, but as an experience, it is an absolutely insightful experience, at least me. Avinash?
I genuinely am having a blast. It's very, very different, from the scene that my friends are having in college. I really hear them complain, but yes, there is a workload, but it's more enjoyable and it's way different from what I've seen with a lot of other people. So, uh, for me, most of my courses, there is a lot of value in it. Like, I mean, the best example I would give is my favorite course, Creative Expression, which I had in the previous trimester. And it was all about how you would solve a lot of issues and how would you go about doing something in the best way possible, no matter how simple the task is. And as part of a final project, we would have to take up on a certain social issue. And how is it that we would solve it using, the few basic parameters, which are cost involved, or what the issue is, how would you quantify the impact, and things like that. So, it for me, it's mostly about how problem solving is. I really love to work on those kind of social issues and impact related matters. And it's the courses over here are designed in such a manner, and the content of it as well is to make you an all-rounded person, and how it would, help you in the future. So even like Charmaka had mentioned about written and oral communication, it actually grooms us well enough to even go ahead in our academic journey really well. How we would be able to write an ideal response paper, research paper, and things like that. So it's not just about learning something as part of your course, but how it would be of immense help to you. And even the course on ethics, I never expected that I would learn something um, like ethics for a degree where I'm going to pursue economics. But then I understood the immense value that ethics had, especially if you would want to be an economist or an entrepreneur. So, these courses initially seemed like, what is it about it? How is it going to impact me? But when I did them, that's when I understood its true value. It's not what it seems like on the outside, but that's how it is. It really helps you present yourself in a better manner, both professionally and outside.
Thank you, Avinash and Charmika, for sharing this. And that also, makes me think that, if you look at why these skill courses are so important, if you look at any job description, when the hiring takes place, if you read that hiring ad, you will see that eligibility, educational qualification will be written, any graduate with good communication skills, right? And then when they are talking about the other skills, it will be a large paragraph, that they want this skill, that skill. If you look at it, that speaks volumes. That how are we training our students? How are we training ourselves for future? Because companies are hiring on the basis of skill set. Um, so at Krea, we try to take care of all your interests, and there are 12 majors and 15 minors, and you can choose any major minor combination across various disciplines. For example, you can do biological sciences as a major with a minor in social studies. And if you feel, oh, computer science is also very important, so then you can do a concentration in computer science. Now, the difference between major, minor, and concentration is to do a major, you need to do 16 to 18 courses. And to do a minor, it is 6 to 8 courses. That is half of the major, and half of the minor is the concentration. So that means you need to do 3 to 4 courses to have a concentration. So along with that, we also have the option of joint majors. Any of these 4 joint majors you can choose, and then you can see if you can cope up with the concentration along with this. You're most welcome. So all that curation happens. Now at Krea, we when we are talking so much about discipline knowledge, broad-based knowledge, and transferable skills, we are very, very conscious that we choose students on the basis of holistic admission process only. We don't give, there is no cutoffs, to apply to Krea. Krea admission process basically has 2 stages. Stage 1 is the application form, and stage 2 is the Krea Immersive Case Day, which we call as OKIC, Online Krea Immersive Case Day. So the online application has a personal story. In fact, I will request Avinash and Charmika to talk about it. Can you people explain stage 1 and stage 2? I think it's better. You people have already gone through this. Charmika?
Right. So in my understanding, in my experience, stage 1 essentially is, trying to understand you through an application. This involves a personal story. So personal story is not, it's not like a prompt or an essay that's given. It's an open question, right? You can write about anything and everything, and not necessarily write. You can also present it using art forms, videos, music, anything that really describes you. So all Krea is trying to gauge is understand you as a person, not just defined by your academic numbers, your scores, but rather beyond that. And you also have a bunch of columns that ask for extracurriculars and co-curriculars, where you can write down a few achievements you've done in the past that you feel are important. They don't necessarily need certificates like all of them. It defines as what you define as achievement. So put that forward out there. And it's all about, your personal details, your phone number, name, etc. That is additional technicalities. However, in KIC, that is the second round, that if you get shortlisted for KIC, you have like a case study, you have a few group activities that you do with a group of people. You have a one-on-one conversation where they try to understand you beyond your, like I mentioned, academic numbers, your scores, but who you are as a person and what you get to Krea. I think in one of the orientation sessions, I remember that they said that they don't choose a student, they choose a cohort, right? So ultimately, they see how you can help the community, you can help the diversity. So bring in all your creative juices in this particular stage of the segment. Avinash, if you'd like to add on anything.
Yeah, so the online application form was actually my favorite part because over there's nobody else who's completely scanning you like the Krea immersive case. And the online application form part, stage 1, is where you can truly be yourself, express yourself in the best way possible. And over there, the best advice I would give to anybody who's applying is to be your true self, is to be as honest and authentic as you can, because that's what matters over your achievements or, those kind of things. What we want is for you to be yourself, and that's what you're going to be, that's where we decide your value. So over there, that's the best thing to do. And even when you go to the KIC, if you're not authentic, then it's going to be even more hard for you to navigate through the interview and things like that. So the best thing is to be yourself and enjoy the process over taking stress and tension, because only if you're able to enjoy it, you're going to be able to be at your best and most creative, because that's what we want. We don't want you to be, completely stressed or totally formal. It's extremely relaxed, and it's a very enjoyable process.
Thank you, Avinash and Charmika, for sharing that. So if you have any questions, you can always write in the chat box. And in fact, I can see one question in Q&A where
We have
Aditi is
two
asking.
questions.
Okay.
So
Charmika,
one
can
was
you just read?
Yeah, one was the fourth year, but that'll be taken up later, I'm assuming. It says, I don't know if this is the right platform to ask, but how important is extracurriculars in your interns profile?
Arshad, would you like to say something on that?
Hello.
Yes, Arshad.
Yes. So it's a good question in terms of how important is extracurricular in your entrance profile. Yes, definitely, it's very important, because we at Krea University, we do not believe you as a student who would be studying or taking admission to us on academic basis only. We want to look out overall perspective of a student. A student might be bad at maybe average at academics, but might be good at extracurricular and co-curricular activities that can be impactful in your application, and you could get selected at Krea University. So yes, everything is important in your application, right from your academics to your extracurricular to your co-curricular activities. And even we have personal story, which also we want to understand you as a person apart from your academic life. What have you done in your life till now? So yes, it's important.
And also, just to add whatever Arshad has rightly said, that also gives us an an idea about to the admission officers that how comfortable you are in coming out of your safe zone, your comfort zone, because that means you want to explore, you want to learn more. And here I would like to add one more thing. When you are doing your online application and when you're writing story, sometimes students feel that, oh, I'm not so good with the text, I'm not able to express myself so good with words. Then you can even submit a video. So your personal story can be in the form of a video, or if you're very good with words and you want to write a poem, to introduce you, then you can do that also. It need not be an essay as essay. It is not an essay. It is a story, your life story. Yes. Thank you, Arshad. Amog
wants to ask something.
Yes, I have a question, for Miss Arora. So you mentioned about, a diverse set of academic outcomes after the course. I wanted to know how the university would support the students in terms of their career development, and particularly if a student is interested in taking up a career in, say, multilateral institutions, global multilateral institutions, then how would the institute support such a student in that kind of a career path?
Thank you, Amok. That's a very important question. Our career service office, we don't call it as placement office, placement cell. It is a career service office that helps in the entire career journey, in the sense that, starting from helping students to explore themselves, to reflect, to introspect, kind of self-discovery, and then choose a path is very, very important. And when you said, and also how to write your resume, how to appear for the interviews, what are those skills, which are required. Now, as you rightly said, now, after that, what? So one is that, when the students are doing internships, many times they're absorbed by the industries there only. And when we keep inviting industries to talk to our university students, and when they interact, so, that gives a good platform first to the students to understand what industry is looking for. And also it gives a good opportunity to industries to understand what Krea University is all about, because, they are interacting, when they are interacting with the students, they also get to know what is the philosophy, vision, and the approach of a particular university. Thirdly, of course, we help students in applying abroad if they want to. We do have some partnerships with foreign universities for the summer programs, which they can do between their first year and the second year, or between second year and the third year. For example, if somebody wants to do public policy, right, then we have a partnership with University of Chicago, and there they can do their summer program in public policy. So in the first year, one student went on full scholarship. No, she did not go because of the pandemic. She did everything online, but whatever was the cost was all borne by Krea. So it depends whether you clear that scholarship process. And after that, 4 students went, and again, some students are doing these summer programs with different kinds of universities, like with King's College London, University of Nottingham. With University of Bristol, we have a master's progression. So meaning thereby 3 years you complete at Krea, and for the 4th year, you apply to University of Bristol with the help of CSO office. And then you can choose any of their majors. And if you clear again their admission process, the criteria, you can complete your PG, your master's degree within 1 year. So 3 years at Krea with the undergrad and 1 year at Bristol instead of 1.5 years. Similarly, with some US universities, we have a very well curated partnership. Like with Stanford, we have only research partnership. So if you want to be a part of research project, which is based on, COVID, then you can be a part of that. With certain universities, if you apply, then they might waive off your 4th year, because US master's program requires 16 years of education. That means 4th year of undergrad program. So they might waive off your 4th year. They might waive off your GRE, GMAT, or they will give you some kind of discount on their either the fee structure, or they will waive off your application fee. So different combinations depending on what is your profile, what are you looking for, which course you are looking for. So similarly, we have other partnerships also. James Cook University, Australia. There are 2 universities from New Zealand with whom we have a partnership. So we help the students. And recently, in fact, yesterday only, I got the news that one of the students, third year student, has got through a very special program with Carnegie Mellon, on full scholarship. So that was amazing news. So just 2 days back, I heard that. So this is how we support. Amok, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, ma'am. I think it was quite informative, for us. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So I think then we can take your leave. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And thanks for giving us this platform to interact. Thank you, Charmika. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, Arshad, for joining.
Thank you. We also would like to thank Sanika and IMS for organizing this wonderful session for us. Thank you, Minu ma'am, and thank you to our students, Shamika and Avinash. Have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you, Mrs. Arora, Arshad, Charmika, and Avinash. It was really insightful. Thank you so much for helping our students. And, as we move to the next year, academic year, we would definitely look forward for such sessions with Krea. Thank you. It was very insightful.